All right, so I don't like. I could do a prologue. I could do an intro. I could introduce to you this subject, but I'm just going to put the headline on the screen. Shock poll for our audio listeners out there. Only 39% of Republicans say MLK Day should be a federal holiday. 9 points less than when the law was signed in 1983. Now, that's crazy. Now, again, okay. Now, we all know Republicans, once again, I'm going to try to turn this into a thing. Republicans are FUFs. What does that stand for? Fucked up freaks. They're a bunch of crazy psychos, okay? They need to be put in straitjackets and thrown in a fucking... I don't just dump them in the Pacific Ocean. I don't give a shit, okay? They're FUFs, okay? Fucked up freaks. But now we know that Republicans are getting more racist over time. This has been a theory. A lot of people have theorized that Republicans and people in general are not getting more racist. It's that racists... who are getting less and less, they're more minoritarian, right? They're less of the population, but they just got a bigger microphone or megaphone. That's a theory. That theory has been disproven, okay? Republicans and people in general are getting more racist, right? Let's be honest. Let's be real. What is the effect of the George Floyd riots, quote unquote, right? They're not protests, certainly not an uprising. They're riots, right? Why are they called riots in the media? Why does everyone refer to them as riots? Why? Because Americans have gotten more racist, right? A bunch of people did sustained protests and in several areas of the country, uprisings entirely, right, to protest an injustice. And guess what? They got labeled as rioters. Equated, once January 6th happened, that's a riot. The BLM riots, it's all riots. And America is getting more racist. That's the result. Now, again, obviously, I'm a 1,000% supporter of the George Floyd uprising in this country. But what is, again, the factual effect on the country is it made everyone more racist. There are more racists now than there were before the George Floyd uprising. That's just a fact. And there's more racists now than there were before in the 1980s. And they're more happy about it. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay? That's fucking crazy. But let's keep going. Let's read some details. In the year 2023, only 39% of Republican voters believe that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday should be a federal holiday, a full 9 points lower than when the law establishing the holiday was signed in 1983. Now, again, that headline is an attention grabber. But there's some more numbers here. They're going to blow your fucking socks off. Okay, check it out. Overall, 55% of respondents said yes, Martin Luther King's birthday should be a federal holiday, with 24% responding no, and another 21% saying they were not sure. Like, ring, ring, ring. Hi, would you like to do a political poll? Sure. Do you think Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday should be a federal holiday? Well, gee willikers, I never really thought about that. I don't really know. So, I'm not sure. Who the fuck says not sure? You're not sure? You don't know? You're not sure? I mean, that always is always funny to me as an option. Who the fuck is not sure? But again, 55% of the country, only half the country, believes Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday should be a holiday. Only half the country. Barely a majority are like, yeah, it's probably a good thing. Yeah. Fuck! I mean, it's crazy. I don't know what to tell you. Support for the holiday from racial subgroups was highest among black respondents, 77% whom said yes, 10% who said no, and 14% who weren't sure. I mean, that one's even funnier. That's funnier, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I love the idea of a black person that doesn't like Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday being a holiday. That's interesting. I mean, I'd like to see their reasoning for that. The highest support was registered among Democrats at 74% yes, 12% no, and 14% not sure. Yo, okay, again, 14% of Democrats. I don't really know whether or not Martin Luther King should be, birthday or holiday. I don't really know. What? You would think Democrats would be like, yeah, actually Martin Luther King, good. You would think that would be like an easy one for Democrats, but no, apparently Democrats are struggling with this too. But by far the lowest support for the holiday came from Republicans, only 39% of whom said yes, Martin Luther King Jr. should be a federal holiday, with the remaining 61% either against it, 37, or not sure, 23. I love it, not sure. I just don't know. I got no idea. Even more shocking, though, is the fact that while support for the holiday has grown among Democrats since the holiday was signed into law in 1983, support from Republicans and independents has decreased significantly. Once again, independents also fucking stupid, okay? A lot of people have this idea that independents are somehow, like, above it all, right? They understand that both parties, man. Like, no. Independents are fucking stupid. Just like everyone in this country is fucking crazy, okay? They're fucking insane, okay? That's the population of this country, a bunch of insane fucking freaks. Fuffs, that's what they're called. Fucked up freaks, okay? That's most Americans. Like, I would say a good 80 to 90% of Americans are fucked up freaks, and that's just the world that we live in. 48% of Republicans and 62% of independents favored establishing the law. Now, again, this is in 1983. 42% of Republicans were opposed, while 10% were not sure. So the support of Martin Luther King Jr. Day has gone down. That's crazy. Support among Republicans has also dropped by 2 points since the same poll in 2021. So it's going down even in recent history. Now again, Republicans especially, but Americans as a whole, are getting more racist. It's just a fact. It's an uncomfortable fact. It's a horrifying fact. But it's a fact. People saw what happened in 2020, and their reaction was, we want more cops and we want to kill more black people. Look at the country, right? A couple of people in a couple cities said defund the police. The Joe Biden administration was like, oh, fund the police? And now 2022 had the highest amounts of police murders on record. 2022, more people were shot and murdered by police than any other year that we have tracked that. So, hey, obviously I'm not blaming the protests. I'm blaming the fucked up freaks here. But again, it's an uncomfortable truth that our world, our country, is getting more racist. It's getting more divided. And people are getting dumber and dumber. They are losing information. They are losing critical thinking. They are losing logical thinking and replacing it with dumbass racist bullshit. So, hey, God bless America. But again, let's talk about Martin Luther King Jr. I was thinking about this yesterday. Yesterday was his day, after all. Capital H. But, Martin Luther King Jr. is really an interesting test case. Like, think about this, right? Like, there are people alive right now that were adults when Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. Right? Think about this, right? And also, I'm 26 years old, right? When I was taught about Martin Luther King Jr., right, I believed it. Like, what they told me in school, I believed it. I believed that Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream and that he solved racism. Why? Because that's what they told me in school, right? And then you grow up and you realize, no, actually everything they teach you in school about him is a lie. The white version of Martin Luther King Jr., right? That, white people love that, they got white Jesus, and now that's why they put him in black and white, They put his photos in black and white so he looks whiter. I'm joking. But the white version of Martin Luther King Jr. as a social experiment blows my mind, right? It blows my mind that there are adults who were alive during his activity and around when he was assassinated, and then their kids go to school and get taught a bunch of literal disinformation about him. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. And then you have Ronald Reagan, one of the most racist presidents we've ever had, signing that law. How did that happen? It's because they created the white Martin Luther King Jr. And that's how they sold it to America. They sold it to America by saying, hey, well, don't worry about his assassination stuff. By the way, did you hear he cheated on his wife? Haha, but hey, whatever. I didn't say that. It's just a public record, my friends. Ignore every radical thing he did. Focus on like one 30-second clip of the I Have a Dream speech. Were you ever shown the I Have a Dream speech in school in full? In full? I wasn't. We got that 30 or 40-second snippet where they were talking about like the content and the character and all that fucking shit. Now again, the white Martin Luther King Jr., that is a crazy ass science experiment, and it worked. They created a completely different version, not even the same person. The Martin Luther King Jr. that you're taught about in school literally is not even like that doesn't, it's fantasy, it's mythology. But the thing is, it's crazy that we can mythologize like our founding fathers. Like that's a long time ago. Everyone involved with that is dead now. So it's a little bit easier to mythologize that. But motherfuckers were mythologizing Martin Luther King Jr. literally in real time. Like 10, 15 years after he was assassinated, we passed a law celebrating him and started indoctrinating our school children with a bunch of made up bullshit about him. It's insane. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So I was thinking about this yesterday. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little, I was thinking, because I forgot it was Martin Luther King Jr. Day yesterday. Someone reminded me. I was like, oh shit. And I was thinking to myself, like, that is the craziest thing about it. Because, like, I was an adult when I learned about Martin Luther King Jr., the real person, not the white version of him that they teach you in school. It's insane. Like, when I learned that Martin Luther King Jr., like, continued after the Civil Rights Act and Voting Rights Act to, again, reach a form of maybe, I don't know, you could call it socialism. I'm not sure. Hey, I don't know. Maybe you get a little triggered when you hear that. I was like, whoa, what else did they lie to me about? And then I read a bunch of shit about Martin Luther King Jr., and I reached the conclusion that the version, if you can even call it a version, that they teach you in school, they just made it up. They made it up. They made it the fuck up. And again, the classic of using black and white photos of Martin Luther King Jr. to make it seem like it's a long time ago. Like the motherfucker, like there are sitcoms from the 1960s that are in full color. You know what I mean? Like this is not like there wasn't new technology. Color was not new technology in the 1960s, okay? So, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, I was thinking about that yesterday, so I thought I would share that. But the United States government, man, they can do some really fucking crazy shit when they put their mind to it. When they really try, the U.S. government really, they got a powerful weapon. I don't know, man. What else are they doing? Like, think about the shit with Martin Luther King Jr., right? What else have they done that with? What else have they lied to you about? I don't know. But, goddamn. Anyway, that's your news story.